All right, welcome back to another InboundREM whiteboard presentation. Today we're going to talk about the real estate market sucks. How do I market for leads? So this is a follow-up video to my video last week where I was saying real estate marketing is a waste of money. All right. So first and foremost, and this is critical, when you're dealing with a turbulent real estate market, which we all know that we are, I'm not here to say otherwise, interest rates and the fact that the market is, big companies like Zillow don't know what to do with the new buyers transactions. I can go on and on. Hopefully if you're watching this video and you're in real estate, you already understand what the various things might be that are impacting the real estate market right now. What I'm sure all of you can agree with is that calls are not happening the way that they used to, even from your center of influence, and marketing isn't working the way that it was just a couple of years ago. There's lots of changes happening in the marketplace. Now, marketing for real estate is cyclical. We have been in a 12-year boom market where the market has pretty much been escalating. Home prices are up in some areas by as much as 200 or 300%. Here in California, where I live, it's 60 to 80%. And our home prices were already above the nation. So as you can imagine, home prices have skyrocketed. All of those things create a more limited supply, a higher priced supply, buyers and sellers that are much more concerned about how they spend their money. It is ultimately yielding you fewer phone calls, and the ones that you do get have to be worked harder in order to convert them into something that you can use to make your own living. So how does that impact? How do I market? How do you do that? All right, number one, okay, I'm speaking to you as a business owner, another person whose income is impacted dramatically when the market goes south. Not as much as other people because of the way that I built my business, but impacted. So the first thing that you do is you stop spending money. Now, that is a very charged statement. A lot of people follow me, a lot of other real estate marketers follow me, and they're going to probably take a lot of umbrage to this idea of stop spending money. But I'm going to say that for the vast majority of real estate agents, you have been in the industry under 10 years. If you are a veteran agent with over 20 years of experience, I do not need to explain to you the idea of feast and famine. I just got off the phone with a realtor today who is a friend, a case study of InboundREM, a guy that does very well, but he's going to have a bad year. But last year was a record year. And like every other veteran agent I know, he saved a lot of his excess revenue, which was a lot. He made a very big leap in his income. And instead of spending that money, what he did was he saved a fairly large amount of it. He is not sweating the current marketplace. He scaled down his marketing spending, and he's being very cautious about where he puts his dollars until he starts to see which direction the market is going. But most of you are not in that position. Most of you didn't do that. And that's nothing against you. Most people, the reason that experience is so relevant is you have to spend the time getting it. So for many of you, this is your experience moment. This is how you're learning in this market. It's been nothing but great for you for the last 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And now it's not great. And you didn't necessarily plan or save a year's worth of your marketing budget, socking it away, understanding that you could keep spending and you will gain market share over other people, but you don't necessarily see the sales to justify the spend in an immediate way. The only solution for the vast majority of you is to stop spending your money, okay? Take a moment, take a beat. During this time, this is an excellent time, these cyclical markets, to do things like increase your skill set, invest in books, videos, and courses for a much lower amount of money than most marketing companies like ours will charge you, and sharpen the saw a bit, stealing from Stephen Covey there. Okay, so you've got to sharpen the saw because no matter what, the skill sets that drive your revenue, they're never going to go out of style. They're always going to be a good investment. It's always like, as long as you plan on staying in real estate, or heck, even if you plan on staying in sales, it's a good idea to sharpen the saw. So stop spending your money. Number 2, analyze your current financial position using these metrics as a goalpost. Number 1, the average time between getting a lead for the average lead, not the exceptions on either side. People that make nothing no matter how much they spend, or people that are still closing deals in 30, 60, 90 days for whatever reason, because both of those stories exist in the market. Both of those results exist, but they are not the mean average. They're not the average result. The average result right now, from the calls that I take, the people that I talk to, is more like 12 months. And right now, people that you did business with in the past who are calling you are some of your best sources of revenue, which many of you won't have that. Many of you watching this video won't have that. So what do? Well, your financial position should be done in the sense that if you call any marketing company, Sync, Boomtown, KV Core, us, Inside Real Estate, Lofty, I can go on and on and on, when they give you a quote, whatever that's for, a system, a website, and they say it's $500 a month or $250 a month or $10,000 a month, whatever it is, you have to look at that spend through the lens of at least 12 months between you and recovering some of your investment. So if it's 500, your spend is 6,000. If it's 10,000, it's 120,000, whatever that number is. And then what you do is you say, can I afford to spend that money for 12 months straight in order to gain a little bit of market share right now? Okay, and in order to have a deeper pipeline when the market changes, because the one thing that's certain about real estate, the reason we're all in it, is it will absolutely change. It'll go up. We might have a couple of harder than previous years. We were due for an adjustment. So what you need to say is, did I plan for that? And if I did plan for that, do I feel comfortable? Look at the pit in your stomach. It's not a very popular opinion. A lot of being a good business owner is not having the pit in your stomach. But part of not having the pit in your stomach is making sure that you've analyzed your current financial position and that you are very, very clear on what kind of risk that you're willing to take. Most entrepreneurs like myself, once we make a decision, we put that money aside, we don't think about it, and what we do is we know we're going to spend it that year. The pit goes away because you already know what you're going to spend. Now here's the big part of this video. These two things are, many of you might be going, okay, well, no duh, Robert, no duh. Well, what are your current options? That's really the bigger and the biggest question of all these questions. How do I market? What are your options? All right, so let's cover them really quickly. Systems that are push marketing systems, things you advertise on Facebook and Google for, even if you have a good system in place that has good mechanics and a consistent track record across many different markets in the US and is a real estate specific marketing company, you've got the idea that you're going to have to chase those leads and close them for 12 months. Those systems, the really good ones, are like Boomtown and Ylopo, and there's new ones coming online all the time. Those are real estate marketing systems that focus on leads. And honestly, there's really very few companies that actually just focus on lead creation that are systems. It's really a small list. Okay, Sync might be one. And the idea behind those systems is that you're putting leads into the system and that you're going to nurture them over time. And the question that I always have for all my clients and the people I consult with is, what kind of nurturer are you? Do you have great emails that you're ready to send out? Do you partner with Happy Grasshopper? Do you have other systems? Do you have a VA in the Philippines who's a master writer? Can you send out a lot of recipes about muffins or market reports, which is what we do at InboundREM? And can you continue to capture your clients' interest while the market is slow and they may not necessarily be able to make a move? Because what will happen is when the market changes, those push marketing systems where you put 2,000 or 3,000 people into your pipeline, they're going to explode for you at some point. Okay, that's the idea, but you're doing a lot of chasing to get there, all right? And it's relatively unguaranteed about when the market's going to shift. Could be a year, like I'm saying. Also could be 2, could be 3, could be 4. Prices in the market need to change a lot right now because it's becoming unaffordable for so many people, especially in places like where I live, California. So you've got another option, which is how do you invest your time, and do you use somebody to leverage your time in order to create a more certain result over many years? That would be inbound marketing. Inbound marketing, which we're one of the very few people that do it, is creating high-value content that never really loses its value. Examples of things that we've done are how to renovate your South Pasadena home, because here's the thing. Right now, the creme de la creme is sellers leads, and it's very hard for you as a real estate agent to find people that are focused on sellers leads right now, currently, with any kind of accuracy. So you can take the long-term view, because one way or the other, when the market shifts, whether or not you're creating like high-value content, information that deals with how to improve the value of your home, how to get the best price for your home, how to, stuff like that, those are all things that generate leads. Now there's one bright and shining piece of the market. For those of you that are lucky enough to have new developments, it's one of the very few places that I'm still seeing high activity, high lead generation, high everything, is new developments. Lots of interest, lots of people doing the searches. It's the fad across the nation. If you are lucky enough to service some new development communities, then you have a lot of options. You can still maybe use some of these push marketing systems and focus on those new developments. You can use inbound methodology and basically focus on what's going to happen in your business 12 months from now or 18 months from now. But all of that should only happen after these first 2 steps have been applied. Inbound marketing is a paradigm shift. It is the idea of servicing your clients in a different way. And honestly, it should be the foundation of most marketing strategies. And it's the one piece of most marketing strategies that's completely unaddressed. You can get ranking on your Google business profiles. One way or the other, most people would agree that if you do a search for a realtor and your name comes up first, whether or not you're making money off that today because there's just not a lot of people buying or selling in your particular neighborhood, they will be eventually. So that result being number 1 in the local search pack for searches related to realtor in Van Nuys, realtor in Fort Bend, realtor in wherever, the DFW Triangle, doesn't matter. All right, that result will pay you money at some point, okay? So you've really got 2 choices in my opinion. You can drop out entirely, take a long pause. You can focus on long-term strategies, absolutely will pay off. No doubt, they just may not pay off today. You keep chasing good money with bad on push marketing systems that may not be working very well for you at the moment. And personally, I would drop that immediately. The only question then becomes, do you sharpen the saw? Okay, and focus on long-term things, learn how to network better, learn how to do in-person presentations, develop an elevator pitch. Mike Ferry, Tom Hopkins, these guys all still have excellent strategies, and sometimes you can buy into those strategies for as little as $20. There's nobody that has a real estate license with all the expenses that you support that couldn't get incredibly good coaching for an incredibly small amount of money. And if you want to try something new like circle prospecting, go look up Ricky Carwith. Okay, he'll show you and he'll give you free training for $0 on how to do his marketing system. There's some tools you have to spend on to do the way marketing the way he does it, but he's focusing on phone calls. The circle prospecting is taking a neighborhood like mine and calling all the homeowners in it and making sure that you start to build up the stories in the neighborhood so that when you make the call, you can go, hey, I just talked to Mary right down the street and she's listing her home for $890,000. Have you thought about listing? Like, that's it. That's the whole strategy right there. You just have to hammer it out and do the mechanics. So you have to sit here and go, what are your options? And this conversation should start with who you are. What is your experience? What have you done? Okay, options for inbound marketing are teachers, people that like to educate, people that like to tell stories, people that are comfortable, as long as the idea is, I'm going to be deeply helping somebody else. If that sounds like a great plan to you and you're willing to do a little bit of research to find out what help means, like the keywords that people are searching for online, and then just doing a video answering those questions that people are asking, which you can find on Google. You just go, I'm just going to do that. Okay, and that's just your time. You don't even need InboundREM to be a partner. What InboundREM does is that when we find that small handful of people that have looked at all of this and say, oh, I have some money to invest, I am willing to take the long-term view, well, then we do all the mechanics for you, the keyword research, the optimizing of the videos, the editing of the videos, and all those different things. So we take away about 80% of the workload. Now, a lot of you watching this video don't have any money at all, or you shouldn't be spending it. Okay, and for those people, you want to go on to like our YouTube channel and people like me and look at what we're saying to do and then just invest your time. That's always an option, ladies and gentlemen. Always. You can invest your time. And yes, it's aggravating, but if you're sitting in your house waiting for a call, or you're sitting in the office waiting for people to walk through the door and none of that is happening for you, then I'm going to propose this. What do you have to lose? Like, I'm not saying go out and spend a lot of money on us or anybody else. I'm saying go out and spend your time watching the videos I've already done, explaining how to do this stuff in detail. Because as an inbound marketer, I give away my knowledge for free. The funny thing is that people watching this video, unless I charge you $10,000 for it, it's really weird how people don't seem to listen. So I'm trying to tell you again, I have most of this stuff for inbound strategies up on my YouTube channels, my website. We have massive articles, spent hundreds of hours, and we've spent years analyzing what the right keywords are, what videos make you money, what videos make you leads, how does that impact your local, and I have all of that up on my website for free. Now, there's a very small handful of you that have indeed saved money, did well, are veteran agents or at least veteran business owners, and you planned for the market slowdown. And now you want to take a long-term view. And in those very rare cases, you'll want to call us because we can do a lot of the heavy lifting for you, give you lots of direction, and basically give you a digital coach, all for a package price that comes in line with the cheaper of our competitors. So that's what I get. How do I market? Okay, it's do it yourself. It's make sure that you stop everything and then analyze your budget. If for some reason you're locked into contracts or agreements, what you're going to want to do is analyze your spend versus your results. And if for some reason you're spending a lot and getting nothing, call your provider, negotiate with them, explain that the marketing isn't working. Perhaps they'll let you get into a lower program. I know that, again, just because I'm more familiar with them and they have a better operational mindset than most other companies, Whitelopa would let you do that. But Lofty and other people might as well. It just depends. So I hope that you found this video helpful. And if you did, do me a favor, smash that like button. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Leave a comment. That also helps a lot. And if you have questions about this and want my personal advice as opposed to hiring me as a consultant, leave me a detailed comment and I'll give you my best answer. Thanks for tuning in.